Good morning, everybody. Happy Thursday. For those of you who are just tuning in, my name is Lindsey Funtik, and I am the coordinator of volunteer ministries at Ashland First United Methodist Church. And every Thursday, I hop on here to share a little bit about my devotional thoughts for the week and the things that the Lord has been teaching me. So today, I come to you again on another beautiful fall morning, and I have been sick. I know that is something that First United Methodist knows. It has been a really weird week. So on Friday was my Sabbath, and I kind of felt iffy, and as the day went on, it got worse and worse and worse, and I picked John up for work, convincing myself that I was fine. I had my gym clothes on. We were ready to go to the gym. And John took one look at me and said, "We're going to go home." So, needless to say, I woke up on Saturday also feeling terrible. But the problem was that we had our volunteer leadership retreat planned for Saturday. So I had spent the better part of the last month planning this time in which I was hoping our leaders could be encouraged and empowered and just pour into the people who pour into our faith family so well. But woke up, I even got dressed. I was ready. This was the outfit I was going to wear. I was ready to go. And my wise husband said, "Why don't you take your temperature?" And kind of things went downhill from there. So it was a really good decision. I kind of felt worse throughout the weekend. This was the longest I've been down and out sick for a while. And also, in this time of COVID, it is so important that we love our neighbors through being extra careful. So if you are not feeling well, try to stay home, stay away from others, make sure you're wearing a mask, make sure you're social distancing. The pandemic is not over. But I was really glad to have, 3 days to rest and to heal, and I've been working from home. Finally get to go back in today. So I've been cleared by my doctor, but I was incredibly frustrated. In March, when COVID hit, I had helped plan our small group leadership training, and that was planned to happen like a week after the world just shut down. And now this happened, so I make the joke that I just shouldn't plan events anymore. It's not true, though. So while I was frustrated, a verse popped into my mind and has stayed there over the past week, really. It's Proverbs 19:21, and I really like the Message version once again. We humans keep brainstorming options and plans, but God's purpose prevails. Proverbs 19:21. So this both comforts and challenges me. So while I was laid up, I was reading a book that was talking about Henry Nouwen, who I've mentioned before. He is a priest and a spiritual writer, just all around amazing. He was watching some trapeze artists, and he just had this huge revelation about God. I think that even prompted him as an old man to hop on the trapeze himself. But as he was watching these acrobats, he noticed that people were watching the flyer, but the real focus was on the catcher, the real pivotal role. So this person who was able to let go of the trapeze, fly through the air, come what may, was able to do so because they knew that the catcher would be there to catch. So as I had to sort of relinquish my own plans, I felt kind of free falling. I felt, frustrated, but also just completely out of control. And this was just such a good reminder that God catches us, come what may, no matter what goes awry. God has never, ever, ever dropped any of us. And that was just such a comforting image for me. And so even when my plans are not panning out like I wanted them to, even if a trapeze artist doesn't let go of the trapeze perfectly, there is a safety net, there is a catcher. And even when my plans aren't going well, God's plan is to catch me, and God's purposes move forward. So while I don't believe that it was necessarily the Lord's will for me to be sick, I do think that the Lord works through the brokenness of the world. And no matter what I plan, God is still going to encourage our leaders. He's still going to empower us all for ministry, to be loved and to love others. And I also believe that He'll guide me toward the perfect rain date. I want His purposes to go forward. So in this, I got this picture of me letting go of the trapeze, just saying, okay, this is out of my control, and trusting that God will catch me. And He did. And I also received the kind of culmination of this thought process. I received this incredibly sweet text from a congregant that I deeply appreciated. And they shared a quote. It says, "Faith is the moment-by-moment choice to believe that God is who He says He is." And that says it. He told me He'd catch me. He said He's the catcher, and I'm going to have faith in that. So as my plans went out the window, there's a God whose hands are still reaching for me. And the same is true of all of us. So the challenge aspect of this is that I don't think I'm alone in this, but I sometimes have an inner cynic who speaks into my ear. As you know, the verse says, we humans keep brainstorming options and plans, but God's purpose prevails. My first thought in all of my humanness was, well, why even plan and brainstorm then? Like, why do I even do this if this isn't going to pan out anyway? So herein lies the challenge in not letting our hearts grow cold and cynical, but also not letting the engine of our brainstorms go cold. I think that, God's purposes and God's plans will prevail, but we can partner with Him in that. Rather than me making my plans, God making His plans, and always having to have mine not brushed aside, but, put on hold, not pan out because of His will being the one that actually needs to go through. When we partner, those things can be one and the same. So as I was planning for this retreat, I just felt like I was running into a wall. I was working on the schedule. I had a plan. I had this vision of what I thought it was supposed to be. And through some prayer, time with the Holy Spirit, and a lot of good, wise counsel from people who helped me keep my sanity, I was able to kind of see that I was doing the planning and not letting God shape this. So I readjusted, and asked the Lord what He wanted to do. And since then, the planning, the scheduling, everything went so much more smoothly. It just felt like a dam broke free. And that was really affirming for me. And then it got canceled. But the Lord's moving those ideas around, taking sort of the raw material that I had come up with and making it better, making it conform to His purposes and His good, better plans. It makes me confident that when we do have this retreat, stay tuned for the rain date, it will be good and it will be in line with how He wants to move among us. And I trust that He can and He will work. So I just want to be open to what God is doing. And if this retreat was not meant to happen on Saturday, so be it. I learned a lot about what it means to rest and to heal. But my encouragement for us today is for us to brainstorm and to dream, but to do so in partnership with Him and to hold our plans with open hands. We can trust the Lord that He's working, but we might not know right away what He's doing. So just trust that He's the catcher who's going to catch you. Let go of the trapeze, keep dreaming, and know that you will not fall. So, friends, with that, First United Methodist, I love you so much. I pray for you, and I just want to thank you for all of the texts and emails, and I just have felt so loved by my faith family in this process of being sick, having to cancel. I'm doing well. Thank you so much. This is what the community of the Lord looks like, and I'm so grateful to be a part of it. So look for that rain date, and in the meantime, I hope everybody has a really beautiful Thursday.